In this sequence, we will be focusing on the Svadhisthana Chakra, or the sacral chakra. So we're going to start with the soles of our feet together. Inhale, straighten your spine. Exhale, lead with your chest as you start to fold forward, and let your body melt all the way towards your mat. Slowly deepening your inhales and your exhales. The theme of this chakra has to do with creativity, expression, self-confidence. So if you want to add any creative movement to these poses, go for it. Listen to your body. Keeping your legs as they are, we're going to slowly roll up and make our way into seated cat-cows. So inhale, gaze up towards the sky, arch your back. And then exhale, tuck your chin to your chest and cat-like with the back. Inhale, cow. Exhale, round your spine, cat. One more, inhale, cow. And then however you want to get there, we're going to make our way into diamond pose. So sit back onto your ankles. And we're just going to draw some imaginary circles around our bodies. So with your right hand, draw a half circle, stretching all the way behind you. Come back forward and then do the same thing with your left hand. This chakra finds its home in the sacrum, which is a storehouse for water. So a lot of fluid movements in this practice. Now making our way into tabletop, we're going to do some cat-cows. So inhale as you drop your belly and look up towards the sky. Exhale as you round your spine and tuck your chin to your chest. And we're going to flow here, so sit back towards your ankles into child's pose. Exhale, come into cat pose, keeping your chin tucked. Inhale, cow pose, look up towards the sky. Child's pose. Exhale, cat pose. Inhale, cow, look up towards the sky. One more, child's pose. Cat pose. And then we're going to tuck our toes and push up into downward dog. Walking out your dog, bending one knee at a time. Adding spinal rolls here, you're going to push off your tippy toes, come into plank, keeping your chin tucked. And then flowing into cow, keeping your knees off of the mat, pushing back up into downward dog. And just repeating some spinal rolls on your own. Meeting in downward dog, we're going to slowly walk our feet up to the top of the mat to meet our hands. Point your toes out slightly when you get there and bring your elbows on the inside of your knees, bringing your palms together and coming into Malasana squat. You want to focus on pushing your knees out with your elbows and keeping your spine as straight as you can. Finding your drishti here, which in Sanskrit means one-pointed focus. And then just placing your hands on the mat, coming into forward fold. Cross opposite elbows, moving your weight to your toes, and then back to your heels. Maybe swaying side to side. Anything that feels comfortable for you in this moment. Exhale, start to release your hands to the mat. Then inhale, halfway lift, palms to your shins, keeping a flat back. Exhale, bring your hands back down to the mat and straighten your right leg out behind you. And exhale, bending both knees, coming into Shiva squat. Inhale, straighten your right leg out. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, right leg straight back, toes are pointed. Inhale, Shiva squat. Exhale, right leg back. Inhale, Shiva squat. Last one, right leg back. Shiva squat. Then sending your right leg back, we're going to drop it down to the mat, keeping your toe tucked, coming into crescent lunge. So inhale, strong core, hands come above your head, adding a back bend if that feels comfortable. Exhale, straightening our front leg, bringing our hands to either side of your left foot, coming up onto blocks if the ground is a little too far away from you. And then bending into that front knee again, bringing your chest forward, gazing up towards the sky. Then exhale, straightening into that leg, modified pyramid pose, folding all the way forward. Your hips might want to fall to the left here. Try keeping them aligned. Inhale, bending into that front leg, bringing your chest forward, and then dropping your back knee, tucking your back toes. Having your hands placed on the blocks if need be. We're just going to go from low lunge to half split, pointing your left toes back towards your face and folding over that front leg. Inhale, low lunge, bringing your chest forward, looking up towards the sky. Exhale, half split. And making our way into frog pose, so walking your hands to the side of your mat, bringing your knees as far away from each other as they can go, and just sinking into your hips here. I always like adding some movement here by pushing my hips forward and back. Svadhisthana governs our emotions, and our hips are known to store emotions. So hip openers are important so these emotions can flow freely through your body. Now we're going to slowly make our way up into wide-legged forward fold. So step your feet apart, bringing your hands to the mat, letting your body fold forward, maybe bending one knee at a time, really getting into those hips. Now inhale, flat back, and we're going to make our way into forward fold facing the back of our mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale, forward fold. Really trying to bring your lower back towards your thighs. And if the ground is too far away from you, don't forget you can always use blocks. Placing your hands on the mat, stretch your left leg out behind you, bending into both knees, coming into Shiva squat. Inhale, straighten your left leg. Exhale, Shiva squat. Inhale, straighten your left leg, toes are pointed. Exhale, Shiva squat. 2 more rounds. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, Shiva squat. 1 more. Inhale, straighten your leg. Exhale, Shiva squat. Straighten that left leg. Step it behind you. Tuck your toes, coming into crescent lunge, bringing your arms up above head, adding a back bend if that feels comfortable, and then straightening into that front right leg, folding forward into modified pyramid. Making sure your hips are staying aligned here and just letting your body sink over that front thigh. Inhale, bending into that front knee, bringing your chest forward, gazing up towards the sky. Exhale, straightening into that leg, folding all the way forward. Inhale, low lunge, drop your back knee, keep your toes tucked. And then exhale, coming into half split, straightening that leg, keeping your toes pointed. Inhale, low lunge, gaze up towards the sky. Then exhale, half split. From here, we're going to make our way into frog pose. So walking your hands out towards the side of the mat, bringing both knees down to the ground, and either having your hands on your blocks on the mat or possibly coming down to your forearms. Bringing awareness to your hips, see how it feels if you slowly push your hips back towards your heels. Making our way back up into wide-legged forward fold, however you want to get there. Make sure your feet are parallel with one another and just letting your head hang heavy. Now coming into goddess, point your toes out slightly, keep a bend in your knees, and slowly roll up, letting your head be the last thing to come up. Start twisting to the right by keeping your left arm straight and dipping your left shoulder. Inhale, come up, and then exhale, same thing on the other side. Now inhale once more as we straighten our spine and let your hips sink towards the mat. Then cartwheel your hands towards the front of the mat, coming into forward fold, really stretching into those hamstrings. Then we're going to step both feet back into plank pose. Now keeping your body straight, start to bend at the elbows, coming into chaturanga. Push up into upward dog, gaze up towards the sky, chest forward. And then push through your hands and feet, bringing your hips up towards the sky, coming into down dog. Adding a spinal roll as we make our way into up dog. Knees are off of the mat, toes are still tucked, and then push back into downward dog once again. Really pushing our chest back towards our thighs. And then one more spinal roll, but this time we're gonna hover our knees just for a few seconds here. Go ahead and drop them. Step your left foot out to the left side. Push your hips straight back. And you can use a block here if the ground is a little too far away. So we're going to bring our right hand to the outside of our right thigh. And as we sweep our left hand to the right, our hips are going to come up. And then we're going to stretch both hands towards our left foot while our hips come back down. And just repeating that a few times. So as we stretch over to the right, our hips come up, and then stretch both hands to the left foot while you sit your hips back down. Coming up one last time. We're just going to repeat the same thing on the opposite side. So straighten your right foot to the right side. Push your hips back towards your heel. Then inhale, stretch over to the left. Exhale, bring both hands towards your right foot. Go ahead and do this a few times on your own, making sure you're keeping the breath to the movement. This chakra's element is water, and it finds its home in the sacrum, which is a storehouse for water. So a lot of fluid movements in this practice. Now on your next inhale, we're going to bring our hands down to the mat and cross your right leg over your left, making sure your knees are aligned, and then sitting all the way back onto your mat. And if it feels comfortable for you, slowly walk your hands forward and fold all the way over your legs. Slowly making your way back up to sitting, and maybe staying here for a second before we switch over to the other side. Now go ahead and start to unwind and bring the opposite leg in front, coming onto your knees, making sure they're aligned, and then sitting back down onto your sit bones. Inhaling here, and then folding forward if that feels comfortable. Now slowly unwinding, making your way back into downward dog, bringing your hips up towards the sky and pushing your chest towards your thighs. We're going to inhale, lift your right leg up towards the sky, and then stack your hips. Remembering to breathe here, bend your knee, circle it towards your right elbow, and then step it on the outside of your right hand, placing your left knee on the mat, and either placing your hands on two blocks on the mat or coming down onto your forearms. Sinking into your hips here and listening to your body. If you're feeling any pinching or bad discomfort, just back off a little bit. Then rising up onto your hands if you were on your forearms, gently scooting your right foot towards the middle of your mat. Exhale, reach your right arm towards your left foot. And then inhale, lift your hips as your right arm stretches overhead. Exhale, dip your hips, reach towards your left foot. Inhale, lift your hips, reach overhead. One more time, exhale. Inhale, lift your hips. Now bring your right hand back on the mat and scoot your right foot in between your arms, coming into low lunge. Inhale, bring your chest forward, gaze up towards the sky. And exhale, start to straighten into that front leg, coming into half split, making sure your toes are staying pointed. Inhale, low lunge. Go ahead and grab your blocks and place them on each side of your legs. Straighten your front leg, coming into half split, or if it's accessible to you, maybe making your way into full splits. I like to use the blocks here because I have a sticky mat, so it helps me kind of lift myself up and shimmy my way into full splits. Focusing on the breath here. And if you want to be still, that's perfect. If you want to add any movement, like folding forward, that's wonderful. Anything that you need right now. Just listen to your body. And when you're ready, go ahead and move the blocks out of your way. And just gently roll on your outer right hip, bending your right knee, and then coming into pigeon pose, making sure your left leg is straight back behind you. Inhale, lift your chest, look up towards the sky. Exhale, fold as far down as you can. You can be on blocks or you can fold all the way forward onto your mat. Gently making your way back up, we're going to tuck our left toes, push your hands into the mat, coming into three-legged dog, keeping your right knee bent and just circling out your hip. Bring your right foot back onto the mat, lifting your left leg up, stacking your hips, opening your chest to the left, and then bending into that left knee, bringing it towards your left elbow, and then stepping your foot down on the outside of your left arm. Coming into lizard pose, you can either put your hands on blocks, put your hands on the mat, or come down onto your forearms. Just breathing here. If you were on your forearms, go ahead and place your hands on the mat. Scoot your left foot to the middle of the mat, stretch your left arm towards your right foot, and then inhale, lift your hips and stretch your left arm overhead. Exhale, stretch it towards your foot. Inhale, lift your hips. One more. Exhale, stretch it towards your foot. Inhale, stretch your arm overhead. Place your left hand to the mat. Scoot your left foot in between your arms. Grabbing your blocks here, dropping your back knee, coming into low lunge. And then exhale, straightening your front leg, coming into half split. Or if it's accessible for you, shimmying your way all the way into full splits. Breathing here. Finding your drishti and listening to your body. If you are on blocks, go ahead and move them out of your way. Gently roll onto your outer left hip, bend your left knee, straighten your right leg behind you, coming into pigeon. Inhale, gaze up towards the sky, arch your back. Exhale, fold all the way forward. When you're ready, gently release, firming your hands into the mat, tucking your right toes, and then coming into downward dog, keeping your left knee bent and circling out the hip. Then placing your left foot back on the mat, coming into down dog, maybe bending one knee at a time, and then slowly walking your feet up to meet your hands. And once you get there, we're going to bend our knees, take a seat on the mat, grab one block, and place it right above your tailbone. Keeping your feet on the mat and your knees bent, we're just going to lay back and take some strain off that lower back. Hands are to the side. Maybe your eyes are closed. And just go ahead and breathe here. When you're ready, we're going to lift up our hips, remove the block, place it to the side, straighten your left leg out in front of you, and bring your right leg over to the left side of your mat, keeping your right arm straight and gazing over your right fingertips. Then just doing the same thing on the other side. A nice spinal stretch here. Now unwinding, bending your knees, and just wrapping your arms around your shins, giving yourself a big hug, saying thank you to your body for being so strong during this practice. Straighten your legs out in front of you, hands are to the side, take up all the space on your mat. Close your eyes here, and just breathe. Keeping your eyes closed here, we're just going to roll onto either side, left being feminine, right being masculine, and then make our way up into seated position. Maybe rolling your shoulders, placing your hands on your knees, placing your palms up for receiving, down for grounding, and still just breathing here. Now bring your palms together and rub them together until you feel heat forming. And once you feel that heat, go ahead and bring them just a couple inches apart. And just imagine a big ball of energy that you're holding in between your hands. Give it a feeling, give it a color. Now hold that ball from the bottom and place it into your lower abdomen. Taking a big breath in, imagining all that good energy flowing within you. Now bring your palms together and your thumbs to third eye. May love and light guide your thoughts. Thumbs to your mouth. May love and light guide your words. And thumbs to your heart. May love and light guide your actions. Now a mantra I would like you to say to yourself. Creativity flows through me. I am a constant flow of harmonious divine energy. I am balanced. Thank you so much for practicing with me. Namaste, yogis.